thinking about keeping this. Yeah, if we keep it this way, it'll be fine.
We're on the air, guys. You're on.
Well, that was a total surprise. Hi, I'm Ken.
Oop. Running a little behind. And I'm John.
And boy, this was a rough start tonight.
That's right. And what are we?
We're embarrassed. We're all about tools.
Yep.
Well, gee, that was kind of a rough start to tonight's show. Hopefully it'll get better than that.
Our producer's on the cell phone talking to his wife. And
well, usually we are used to the chubby fingers pointing our way,
right.
But tonight it did not happen.
That's right, exactly.
So anyway, before we get into tonight's business, I want to take just a minute because I'm really excited. I heard of John talking to Danny.
You're always excited.
I am. That's the kind of guy I am. But it has nothing to do with you.
That's right.
And
Thank God.
so Danny at Danny Designs has really nailed down his stone polishing system.
That's right.
And
his seam repair, he can actually, with E-stone, he can actually cut down a seam to make one level with the other, as long as it's not really thick.
So, in essence, you could really almost make an invisible seam perhaps now.
Very close, I'll bet.
A lot better than you can do with stone, and probably
That's right.
a lot better than what you were doing with engineered stone or quartz before.
Oh, absolutely. He's going to set new standards.
Yeah, and we've seen that because if you follow it on the boards, this has been an ongoing process for about the past 3 or 4 months. But it's really changing the way people are looking at quartz, its repairability, and now even its seaming. Literally?
Literally.
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 So we had a chance to see it a couple weeks ago out in Houston at the ISFA Regional Show, but now that's readily available. And if you can take the chance, go to specialtytools.com, and you'll find out more about it.
Great. Very good. So what are we doing tonight?
But that
I see all these neat tools here.
I'm really excited.
That's right. You're really excited. Cranberry. Look at this cranberry tool.
You know, it is said that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
That's right.
And
I try to imitate you all the time, Ken.
You are such a liar. Well, tonight we have a tool on the show that in many ways is become a FedEx, a Xerox, a Windex,
a Wisconsin cheese,
as John
right.
pointed out earlier, to tool users. And the tool I'm referring to is very commonly called by me a lamello machine.
A lamello biscuit joiner.
But often referred to as a biscuit joiner.
Right.
But most people anywhere in the industry, if you say, have you got a lamello machine, everybody knows immediately what you're talking about.
Exactly.
And so it is really, it's fantastic that tonight we have North American's representative for lamello
right
here right now on our stage.
Right.
And it's
he's not on our stage just
No, but
yet.
he's going to say it, and I'm going to say this right. He is with Colonial Saw. He is one of the big chiefs, unlike the little Indian that I am.
That's right.
And his name is Dave Rakowskis.
Rakowskis. Very good.
Rakowskis?
That was right.
All right, we got lucky.
Dave,
Hey,
how you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Ken. Nice to see you.
Yep.
The camera's that way if you want to turn around.
Just turn around there.
It's my first time.
No, hey, it's great to have you on the show. I know we had a little bit of difficulty getting things to work out once before earlier because of some logistics problems. But tonight you're here, and we're going to really cover a pretty broad swath of your product offering, aren't we?
We are. I appreciate it. You're right. In 1956, Herman Steiner invented the biscuit joiner, and lamello has been known as the biscuit joiner.
Herman Steiner is your wife's grandfather.
I wish.
Right?
I'd be living in Switzerland.
Oh,
somewhere.
no, okay. Oh, no, your wife's grandfather started Colonial
Saw.
Okay. I knew you married into money somehow. Okay. And before that, you were selling rags, right?
No, I was an accountant.
Used rags, no less.
You were an accountant?
Yeah.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah, I worked at a
All
company
right.
called Deloitte & Touche.
Okay, great.
But yeah.
What and douche?
Deloitte.
Oh, Deloitte and douche. Okay.
They're here in Jacksonville. You can
Okay.
look them up.
All right.
But yeah, Herman Steiner invented biscuit joinery in Switzerland, and that's what they did for many, many years. And then they've now branched off in the past 10 or 20 years into glue machines and some specialty tools, still known as the finest biscuit joiner in the world. And same with everything else they do is top notch. It's done in Switzerland. It's done right.
Now, briefly, just too that we cover Colonial Saw. I've really always known Colonial Saw as being the supplier of Streebig panel saws.
Correct. We are the importer of Streebig panel saws into North America, and lamello biscuit joiners into the United States. They're both made in Switzerland. That was the connection way back when Kim, my wife's grandfather, got this whole thing going.
Okay.
That's why we have those two niche products in our industry. And we have been Streebig America and Lamello USA for forever.
And Streebig is always been really big into the solid surface industry, where I come from.
Correct.
And I know it's really big into the wood industry. And these tools right here are primarily for the wood industry.
Yes. Yeah, they
Wood
are.
and plastic laminate. We use
Okay,
a lot.
yeah.
We use a lot in our plastic laminate shop.
Generally, in my way of thinking, I kind of equate plastic
Wood and
laminate
laminate
as part of that
together.
wood industry.
Well, okay.
I'm with
All
you
right.
on that.
I'm thinking more particle board, plastic laminate, not really woodworking. You know what I mean? Never mind. All right, never mind.
Anyway, now
Woodworking.
the second
Okay.
time tonight we've fallen on our face.
Okay.
Let's try to
Especially in Europe.
cleanly
You can
work
tell we
our
haven't
way over
scripted
this
that.
way here.
But you're right.
There we go.
Go away, kid, you bother me. Okay, here we are. This has really been something fascinating. I knew Lamello was known for the biscuit joiners and their repair systems and all of that. I never knew about this before really you were going to come on the show. This is the LK glue system,
Correct.
but this is actually a full system. Now, briefly, most of you guys, whether you watch something like New Yankee Workshop or maybe Old House, one of the other popular remodeling tooling shows.
One of those other shows.
Yeah, one of those other shows. But I mean, you see the squeeze bottle,
Right.
the squeeze bottle dispenser from Lamello, which has been around probably what, for
Forever.
20, 30 years at least?
Yes.
Now, how long has this system been out?
Similar time frame, but always on the industrial side.
Okay.
You know, they've actually just in the last 5 years made a smaller, a little bit less expensive unit, the LK3. This is now the middle one. This used to be the big one.
Okay, so really from that, and all you guys that do a lot of repetitive part glue up like doors, cabinetry work, any specialized molding type work, this is really, for that type of repetitive glue up process, this is the perfect tool.
Correct. Yep, we have a lot of different applications. We carry 100 different nozzles. The nozzles simply, we have our standard pointed nozzle that comes with the unit here.
Now, you can also have, if you don't have a nozzle that fits the specific application, you also have the ability to custom make a nozzle.
Correct. Anyone can send us in. It happens all the time, especially in windows and doors. Sometimes raised panel cabinet doors that they're making. Anything with a funky profile, they can send us in the wood sample, mark on the wood sample where they want the glue to go,
Okay.
and then we'll make a custom nozzle that fits exactly to their profile.
And that's not really expensive.
Well,
It
it's all
depends on,
relative.
it's
Well,
all
I mean,
relative.
given the fact that it's a custom tool.
Right, for a custom tool, it's anywhere between 200 and 500
So how does this thing work?
for the nozzle. Do you have a
Right there.
rag? What happens here is
do we need? We
inside,
need a
this is a
rag?
pressurized tank.
We get a rag, one of the blue
Yeah,
rags,
just
maybe.
usually
Right there, John,
before
right
we
on top
start
of the,
shooting glue,
cup.
we like to shoot out the excess water in air. But this is a pressurized tank. It's totally portable once it's been pressurized. So you hook it up to your regular shop line, which we've already done.
Okay, now the way you do that is there's just a basically just like on a bicycle or a cart, a valve,
Right.
a little stem valve, just like you'd see on that. This is, you stole off your daughter's bicycle pump, I'm
That's
guessing.
right.
Yep.
Comes with it.
And you just press this on and you just hook an air line and you charge it up. You want to at least go to 50 pounds, correct? Is what you want to...
70, at least 50. The line is set at 75 to 80. It's
Okay.
5 bar, which is metric.
Okay.
Now inside there is a plastic jug, and the plastic jug you would fill with whatever you're going to dispense. Now,
Correct.
there's room all the way around the jug, and we figured out when we were setting up that, now this would be really cool. You can fill the plastic jug with beer, put it inside, put crushed ice all the way around it, and use this as a beer dispenser for when you're on break. And then when you're not on break, you can take the plastic jug out, put the glue one back in, and you're all set again.
But by the end of the day, you're spilling it.
That's right. Well,
Some people
but it would
do
work.
that.
That's right.
That's why we sell the extra plastic jugs
There you
so they
go.
can sit on the side. But
So we're not encouraging that for the workplace.
That's right. Safety first.
Okay, so essentially you charge this up you bring this up to full charge.
Correct.
Now, if you need to remove this so you can replace your canister, as John aptly pointed out, this is actually your safety valve, so you can't overpressurize the tank anyway.
Correct. That
And
will
this
blow.
allows you to release the pressure that's inside the tank should you need to break the wing nuts and take and remove the cylinder.
But one thing I want to make note of is that you don't have to keep an air hose on this. You just pressurize it like you would a portable air tank for filling tires. You just pressurize it, take the hose off, and then carry this around. It's totally portable.
Correct.
You could take it outside if you wanted, or wherever you got it, whatever your application is.
Actually, it's a wonderful idea because I never thought about it. This is actually, should you need to go in the field and do repair work, it's a great system.
Yeah. Or if you want to go out and sit under a tree in the shade and drink your beer.
It's just not going to let go of that, are you? Just not going to let go.
Wireless for the
There
woodworker.
you go.
So moving right along, now that we've covered the finer
Okay,
points of this
so
equipment.
this actually just shoots out of there.
Yeah, this
And it's all regulated?
The one thing I think we need to tell people here is that once this is pressurized, fill it up with glue, pressurize it. It's engineered such that the glue in there will be exhausted before the pressure is out, and we'll tell you that you can leave that in there for 3 months. So you can go on vacation for a week or two, come back, and just start gluing. Everything up until the point here
Okay.
is under pressure and won't harden.
It's basically like an air tank for contact cement, the same. All you have to do is clean the tip, but everything up
Clean
to
the
the
tip.
tip is airtight.
Right.
Now, as cool as this machine is, and I know you're getting ready to show this work, you also have this in a constant air pressurized machine, which has controlled
Spurts.
distribution.
Correct.
One after
We
another.
call it a metered or a one-shot system,
Okay.
where then it's common in dowels, it's common in biscuits, it would be common in this type of a repair joint, and it would be common in a profile end. Anytime that you want to just be able to squeeze it once and let the same amount of glue come out every time, regardless of how long you hold it down for,
Okay.
you're going to use that system, the metered system. You can set that at the beginning of the day, so that you have the same glue come out in every hole, regardless of who's doing your gluing. So again, production shops
That's
like
nice.
that,
Yeah.
right? The production manager can set it in the morning, and if the workers are thinking about lunch or their girlfriend or whatever they're thinking about, they're going to have the same amount of glue.
So
in
it
every
really
hole.
helps you to control your material cost on the glue end.
Correct.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, plus it's not a mess. I mean, it
That's
puts just
number
enough in
one.
for the biscuit.
Cleanup
or
is
whatever
probably
the dowel
number
joint or
one.
whatever.
Material cost would be, say, 3. Number 2 is having the right amount of glue spread out throughout the whole
Right.
joint, exactly where you want it.
Okay.
Okay, let's
So
see
when
how-
we're talking
depending on
about
the
the tips, though, just so our viewers know, we're talking about, like, for a biscuit, there would be a half circle tip with holes in it.
Correct.
For a dowel, it would be shaped like a dowel with holes in it.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and all of those tips are engineered for those specific holes. So a dowel tip, this is just our standard pointed nozzle,
Right.
okay? And we can do whatever we want with this.
Okay.
We have an edge alignment tool for this pointed nozzle, so we can run it along an edge,
Oh, that's nice.
okay? And on a case of, and this will put glue at the bottom of a hole.
We used to do a lot of gluing in our laminate shop. We would build the particle board cases, you know, the boxes, and we would use regular glue bottles. And you're always filling them. They're always getting worn out. They wear out very quickly, dragging them on there. These would be perfect for an application like
Right.
that.
Plus, you've got the thing, the glue is already instantly at your hands as opposed to where you see people just
Oh, yeah,
shaking the
exactly,
bottles
yeah.
and just wasting time.
Instantly, and you see a lot of times in shops too, it's hung up on a hoist like this. So it comes down on a flexible hose, they glue, and then they just retreat.
Very cool.
The amount of glue is metered here. So in the case of this unit, it's metered in terms of how fast it comes out.
But as long as you hold the trigger, it's coming out.
it's coming. Right.
Okay.
So right now there's basically none coming out. If I open it up a little bit, there's a little bit coming
Now
out.
you pulled that trigger all the
I
way.
have that thing squeezed all
So
the
no
way.
one has to really figure out how to pull the trigger just part way. It's all preset.
It's all preset.
Okay.
Right. Now if I open it up, you're going to see a lot of glue come out.
Oh wow. Okay.
All right, and that's all that is in there is that's air because
Just
we
some air
didn't,
in
we
there,
didn't
yeah.
fill it all the way up. That's what I
Right.
had this for.
Yep.
So
Okay, so
right.
now so in that case where you've been able to put it in that one splice hole, if we press the splice right in there by John's hand, we should get good squeeze out.
yeah, you'll see good squeeze out. I probably put too much in that hole, but
Yeah, that's a little
because
bit.
I didn't know you were
that's a
going to
little
do
bit
that.
much.
But
Right.
that's
Okay.
but you're correct. What we would have, we have a mini spot nozzle. Okay, so you'd set a metered amount, and you'd have just a minimum amount of glue squeeze out, or none, if that's what you prefer, but you'd fill it right up to the top. Same story for like our dowel nozzles. They go in the hole. There's 4 holes on the sides, so they're going to hit the side of the dowel hole, not the bottom. You want the glue all the way up the side. So you squeeze it, you pull it up, and it pulls it all the way up the side. Same story for our biscuit holes. We want the glue on the side of our biscuit holes, not the bottom, so the holes in the nozzle are on the side.
Right.
Okay, so okay, go ahead, John.
What size tanks do these come in? I know there's 3 different sizes.
Yeah, they're called the LK3, 5, and 10, and that stands for 3 kilograms, 5 kilograms, 10 kilograms. Everything's European made in Switzerland, so you have that. What that means in America is the 3 is 1 gallon of glue, 5 is 1.5, and the 10 is 3 gallons.
Right. And there's also, I noticed, roll-around carts available for these as
yeah,
an
you
option.
have a thing called the LK Boy where you can carry it and roll it around. It's really not very heavy. It's a 25-pound unit, but people can roll them around. They have stands for the guns. They have baskets for the nozzles because the nozzles need to be dropped in water so that the glue in here will clean out. Okay, this is actually for the gun. This reservoir here has water in the bottom, so the tip of the gun now, the glue on the tip is dissolving. You don't have to worry about cleaning it. What I would have is a basket for this nozzle. I would just drop that in and clean it. We also have a shop attachment that will thread onto your shop hose, and you can snap the nozzles on, turn the hose on, and it'll flush them out.
Oh, that's nice. You have to really deal with
You
cleaning
don't
them
have
out.
to deal with cleaning them out.
How many guys can work off of one of these tanks?
We have a distribution nozzle where you can send 3 guns off of this tank. The bigger tank, the 10, the 3 gallon, has 2 outlets. And with 2 distribution nozzles, you can run up to 6 guns.
Okay,
so you'll see in some places, and you can run metered mixed with not metered. So you may have 1 metered gun over here running dowels, and then you have a station 15 feet away running edge gluing, and a station 15
Now, the metering
feet
glue
away
requires
running.
air.
The metering
all the
glue
time.
needs to be hooked up to air all the time.
Okay, right, because that's what regulates it.
That's what's going to regulate.
So we know we have the traditional couple different bottle delivery systems. There's the 3 versions, or actually 6 versions of the LK, metered and unmetered.
Correct.
And then there's also a fixed station system, which I thought was really fascinating because that's the one where it's metered or unmetered, depending on how you want it. But that's the one where when you're doing repetitive glue up of parts, you can actually have the glue distributed evenly to the parts. So once again, if you're in a production environment, that really is the only kind of tool to get.
Right. Yeah, the way that system works is a table mount system, and if this was a profile on the edge and this was our LK unit, it would be mounted here with a trigger switch, and it would all be connected, and you'd push it in, it would go and it would put the exact amount of glue on this profile. Then a lot of times in a window application or a door, they'll flip it over because they have a matching profile on the other side, and they'll do it again.
Okay, great.
So again, it's really fascinating when you think about glue up because tools like this, one, it's going to speed up the amount of glue because the glue is already at the point of delivery. So you're not watching people shake up a glue. You're not getting uneven distribution of the glue. So by using a system like this, you solve so much of the gluing process problems and you really speed it up, which is fantastic. I know we have more to talk about, and so you're going to have to hang on and see what we have when we come back.
That's right. We'll
You
be right
got
back.
it.
Okay. This
That
is
did go
an
by fast.
exciting new product. We're really excited about it, obviously. These are radius molds for forming solid surface. And what we can do is Ken is Ken is going to stick that in the mold here real quick. We're using a Festool router, slow speed, and we're going to just form this. Okay, and that forms it into a perfect 1.5 inch inside radius, 2 inch outside radius. The reason that we designed them this way is because if you're using the perfect seam setup, you'll be able to route your inside corner with the perfect seam edges, and it's a perfect fit.
Yep.
What we've got is we've got a specially designed base for the router. This is a surface leveler, and it'll be adjusted to take off this material. Now, it doesn't have to be flush because all we're actually doing is cutting it off flat with the surface so it's ready to glue up underneath. And this is a carbide tipped up-down spiral.
Correct.
Which
It's a
nobody
compression
makes.
spiral.
I mean, this is unique in that it is carbide tipped and it's not a solid carbide. So it's a lot less expensive than a solid carbide router bit. So this is unique. It's got a bottom bearing bit. Now we've set it so that it's actually riding on the bottom edge of this little fixture that we've built. And what you're going to have, and I don't have my vacuum hooked up, but I'm just going to go ahead and route. Okay, so now what that's done is it's cut it off perpendicular, so you end up with a piece that is perfect every time. And what's nice about this is these are always the same size. So when you're calculating the top, you can pre-manufacture all these and you know what length your pieces are in between. So that's pretty cool. And then to take it out of the mold, you just back it up, just like that. Take it out of the mold. And as you can see, we've got the mold is actually several pieces. There's a base that you get, and then these are double stacked molds. Now, let's say we had to do a 4-inch drop edge. What you could actually do is buy extras of this particular mold, stack them on top. These are all screwed together, so you could stack them up, screw them back together, and you could actually have them 4 inches high.
By just merely adding to this and building it up to whatever thickness it needs to be, and these are available in half-inch increments after the initial 1-inch buy.
Right, yeah. The starter kit would include this base that you route against, and then 2 mold thicknesses. The reason we did it in half-inch increments is it's a lot less expensive to manufacture 2 half-inch molds than 1 1-inch mold, just because of the cutters involved in cutting 1-inch material and what have you. So we decided to go this way with it, and when you buy it, you would get the starter kit would be this clamp, which we're having made for us, which is really cool. The molds, male and female mold, and the starter kit is, I believe, a 1 inch and an inch and a half, because that's pretty much the standard. It takes a lot of the work out of something that is a very tedious project.
It is.
And you won't have to buy a big oven to do this. A lot of guys don't want to do forming. They don't want to spend the money for a big oven, so they'll be able to buy this little cube oven, which is really cool.
$6.99, I believe.
I think it's going to be $6.99, and maybe we'll put a package together on the oven and a starter kit. We'll take a look at doing something like that. But
so you could get into a drop edge application very inexpensively, and the great thing about it, and this is really what you have to look at, is the speed in which this can be done.